57?
Heinz 57? We're going to be doing our Heinz 57 spotlight on all the varieties of Heinz delicious sauces. Is that right? Am I reading this wrong?
Yeah.
Oh.
right.
Oh, so what were you going to say?
I was going to say the official podcast of the David A. Howe Public Library. I'm Eric Mickles.
Yeah. Given our surroundings, that makes more sense. I'm Nick Gunning.
Yeah. Our surroundings.
Yeah.
Because we lack any sauces right now.
Yeah, and we're in the David A. Howe Public Library.
Your office has a sad amount of sauce.
Excuse me? Oh, sauce. Okay,
Yeah.
well, I guess that's true.
There's none.
No, there's no sauce.
I'm going to get off this topic because I got nowhere else to go with it. So we've got book news, author news, literary news.
All sorts
I'm
going
to come up with a great catchphrase for this
one of
library
these
now.
days.
Yeah, one of these books.
57 episodes.
What if we did something like, take a look, it's in a book
no, I know
with all the books.
I know why you're thinking that, but that's in use.
Take a look with all the books.
Yeah. LeVar Burton would sue
Eric
you
and
so
Nick.
quickly. No.
LeVar Burton would sue me?
Yeah, he would.
That'd be kind of cool, though. You know what,
yeah.
though? The disappointing thing would be I would be going to court, being super excited to meet LeVar Burton, and then he would just have, like, a representative show up.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait a minute.
You're absolutely right.
I would have settled out of court if I had known.
Well, today, aside from the nonsense and tomfoolery you've come to expect, we'll also be discussing, Eric?
Hold on.
What?
One time, I called up a pizza place.
Yeah.
And asked if they had any walls, order for walls there. And they said no. And I said, so you don't have any walls there? And they said no. And I said, how is your ceiling standing up? And they're like, all right, who is this? And I said, Tom. And they're like, Tom who? I was like, Tom Foolery. And then I hung up.
That's pretty great.
And that was one of the best phone calls I've ever had.
Stuff. That's good
Go
stuff.
ahead.
So
what were you asking?
That was some of the tomfoolery that I was mentioning.
Yeah,
but,
sure.
Today we're going to be discuing historical fiction because it's History Week here
Why
in Allegheny
didn't you let
County.
me tell everybody about that?
Oh, well, I gave you a chance, then you told that tomfoolery story.
I was worth it.
Yeah, I mean,
no regrets.
You made the right decision,
Yeah.
but
Okay.
I had to tell. It's History Week in Allegheny County, so we
Sure
have
is.
events in the auditorium. We have an exhibition room full of interesting things from around the county, so stop in.
Yeah.
David Howe Public Library is your
gonna
one-stop
talk
shop
about
for history of this
Historical
county.
fiction.
Yeah.
We're focusing on books that focus more on the story of
Yeah.
the story
Right.
than the his part.
Well said. I guess I'll give you that.
Sure.
Okay. So, what have you been reading? Let's turn to our bookmark segment.
What haven't I been
Talk
reading?
a little bit about that. Let me tell
Lots.
you, while we're talking about historical fiction, I watched All the Way last night. Have you heard of this?
No, is it by all the books?
No. New
sorry.
HBO movie starring Bryan Cranston as Lyndon Johnson.
Oh, no.
It's really good.
Yeah.
It was about Lyndon Johnson and Martin Luther King's civil rights bill and everything.
Okay.
We really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It's good stuff. So I don't think we have that in our collection yet, but
Bryan Cranston has come out on the record as saying he would like to play Mr. Sinister of
Really?
the X-Men villain fame.
Interesting.
Yeah, he said he would want to play a villain and he would want to play a weird one, and the one he name dropped specifically was Mr. Sinister.
Mr. Sinister. Well, he was a great LBJ, if that tells you anything.
If you
really,
could-
yeah, good-
Did you see any
good
hints
impersonation.
of Nathaniel Essex in there?
In hindsight?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was he constantly saying, like, the Summers, I need their bloodline?
No, he didn't say anything like that.
Nothing?
No, he was
Okay.
like, we have got to get this bill passed. Like that kind of
Oh,
stuff.
yeah, that's a big Mr. Sinister
Mr.
thing.
Sinister
Yeah.
says that as well.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Especially when he's working with Apocalypse.
so in conclusion, I recommend the film All the Way.
All right. Yeah.
So let's talk about reading now. What are you reading?
Sure. I got.
Oh, you know what else I watched?
what?
Night Manager, based on the John le Carre novel.
Okay.
Tom Hiddleston, Hugh Laurie.
So that's a
very good.
medieval knight who
Nope.
was transported
Nope.
into the future, but now he's managing
Oh my
a
gosh,
convenience store.
that's so great.
Yeah. It's
Night-
Night Manager with a K.
With a K.
That's the important
Sure.
part. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it was like a spy story,
Yeah.
and it was really good. I've never read
Okay.
John le Carre before. I have also not seen Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy.
Me either.
But Night Manager, 6-episode miniseries, also really good.
Okay.
So go
I
ahead.
dub thee
Night
Shift
Manager.
Leader.
Okay, all right. Shift leader.
because he's the night manager.
Yeah.
He's knighting people.
Oh, he's
Yeah.
knighting people.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I shall protect. All right.
So I'll ask you what you want to read, and then I'll think of something else I've watched.
I've also watched some stuff.
Oh, okay. Well, heck, let's do it.
Mine are embarrassing though.
Oh.
So I've been looking for some stuff to watch, and
Yeah.
I couldn't come up with anything
Okay.
to watch by myself. So I restarted watching Marvel's Agents of Shield.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. You know what though?
Wow.
Goes down easy. It's like I put it on at night, and it's just like I don't even pay attention, but I'm entertained. It's terrible. I hate myself. I
That's
hate
like
myself. a lot.
Muzak. You just put that on.
Yes. But
Okay. Well, good for you. I don't want to take away from you if you're enjoying it. Now that I
Speaking of-
know we have in our collection. We've got that here.
Marvel's Agents of Shield.
Yeah.
No,
We don't?
no, never been requested.
Really?
Nobody wants it.
Oh, I guess
Nobody
I've just,
would be watching it.
I guess I've just put holds through.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
Nobody cares.
Well,
We got all the other stuff. We got like Flash, Arrow, Supergirl, Gotham, iZombie. We got iZombie, but not. But yeah, man, I put it on and it's stupid, but it's also entertaining.
Wow.
I think it's because it's been on it's been on for 3 seasons.
Yeah.
And so now I know what to expect.
Yeah.
Now I know not to
Just
expect anything
stupid
cool.
and- yeah.
Except Ghost Rider is supposed to be on season 4.
Well.
So
If
but
Ghost Rider's there.
not Ghost Rider with the skull, the flaming skull and motorcycle. It's the new Robbie Reyes who drives like a car.
Huh.
So
Ghost Rider's like nephew.
yeah.
Okay.
Also, I rewatched the Two Towers extended edition on Sunday, and this time it was all the way from beginning to end.
Oh boy.
You know what?
That is a lot of walking with trees.
You make jokes, but I put in the Lord of the Rings, and I'll put in other movies to rewatch. I'll put in new movies, and I still like reach for my phone every now and then because my attention span has gone like just to the bottom of the ocean. But put in the Lord of the Rings, and I'm staring at the TV for 4 hours.
That fascinates me.
I can't look away.
That fascinates me. The Two Towers has a 40-minute screensaver in the middle of it. No one notices.
You're ridiculous.
That's all it is.
You're horrible.
Just
You're a horrible
imagery.
person.
It's just
I'm sure there
imagery.
are tons of people who agree with you, but I can't not watch it.
Well, I think that's great.
So
good for you.
Even the parts where I'm like, oh, this is kind of slow.
Oof.
But and you know what? I like the end stuff.
Good.
Because the boring parts with the end is why the parts when the Ents go on their last march is so exciting.
Okay.
Because you've just been waiting for them to do something, and then they're like, no, because the last
There's
march
probably
begins.
also a way that it could be exciting without the contrast of being boring.
You're ridiculous.
Sorry.
You watch Columbo.
Good for you. Yeah. Columbo, it's an American institution.
You know
Peter
who would
Falk
watch?
as
You know who would
Columbo?
watch Columbo?
What?
The Ents.
Really?
They'd all get together for an Ent mute, and moot. I'm sorry, and they would watch Columbo. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm happy to watch Columbo with them. I just don't want to watch them carry 2 little dudes through the forest for 3.5 hours.
They don't. They put the hobbits down
This is
for their
ridiculous.
meeting.
I can't.
All right, I've been reading Calamity
Oh.
by Brandon Sanderson.
Brando Sando.
It's the 3rd book of
Okay.
the Steelheart series. It's actually called the Reckoner series.
Oh.
I don't know why. Do you find that annoying when it's like I call the Cinder books
Yeah.
the Cinder series, but they're called the Lunar Chronicles, and now
No,
I call
I like when there's a series name.
really.
Well, when you have like something like the Hunger Games or something, you call it the Hunger Games series just because
Right.
it's the first book that came out.
Right.
You know, it'd be nice if it had like a
If it was something else.
it had like a series title.
Like
You know, same with Twilight. I mean, when
Murder Kids.
When people are looking for Twilight, it's not like the Twilight : you know.
yeah.
I think it's nice when there's a series.
All right. Well,
Sorry.
anyway, I'm
Agree
reading
to
the
dis-
3rd
agree to
book of
disagree.
the Reckoner series, which
Okay.
started with Steelheart.
Oh, the Steelheart
So
series.
I'm probably gonna finish it tonight or tomorrow.
Hey,
So I meant
don't
to.
make
But
promises you can't keep.
that's true. I read the Doctor Strange, The Way of the Weird,
The new one.
comic, Volume 1. Yeah, it is the newest one.
Oh.
It's his new series, Post Secret Wars. Not
Okay.
that means anything to most of our listeners. Here's what I was upset with.
Okay.
I gave it 3
So
stars.
hold on. This is a new Doctor
Strange.
graphic novel, Volume 1.
Yeah.
Movie's coming out soon, so
Yeah.
if you want to catch this is Volume 1,
Yeah.
we got it here.
Yeah.
Go on.
I love the art because it's Chris Pichello.
Okay.
I love his art, and it's great for Doctor Strange. The volume is only 5 issues.
Huh. Sure.
And it ends on a cliffhanger, and that upset me because I was like, "Oh, the last issue's in the next volume for some reason." But then I looked up, and it's that the first story, this opening story, is 10 issues long, so it makes sense then that
cut
you're
it.
going to cut it at 5 issues. And it's nice because I don't know how much our listeners know, but early when trade paperbacks for comic books were getting big, both DC and Marvel were doing a big thing where their storylines had to be like 6 issues or 12 issues long so that they could be formatted for trade paperback successfully. And a lot of people didn't like that because you get stories that were too long or too short. So I was fine. I'm like, whatever. It's going to be 10 issues. But we didn't pay this price. But the hardcover retail price of this volume is $25.
Wow.
$25 for a hardcover of 5 issues.
That's a lot.
Either you put the 10 issues together
Yeah.
and it's a $25 paperback.
Yeah.
Or, it's a
I mean,
$10
that
trade.
would be more than the single issues.
Yeah.
Like significantly more.
Yeah,
than
that you're
single
paying
issues.
$5 an issue.
Yeah.
It's crazy to
Ridiculous.
me. You're paying the extra money for the hardcover
Yeah,
thing, I
I
guess.
don't like that.
But yeah, I would. So, anyways, I gave it 3 stars mainly for the publishing.
Okay, but the
So-
story was good?
Yeah, I'm sure I would have liked it more if it was in the 10 issues. Actually, it was kind of nice to split it, but Chris Pichello's art. I'm sorry. I'm
all right.
reading The Invisible Republic.
What's that? Oh,
You read
yeah.
that.
Yeah, the Hugo winner.
Yeah,
Or did it win? It was on the
didn't
list.
win.
Yeah.
I don't remember
Nominated.
what won.
Nominated.
Do you?
No, I don't. For graphic novel, I don't remember.
Okay.
We can go back and check.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll have Roger do that.
Right, yeah, we'll have
No, Roger, I was kidding. We're not going to have you do anything.
He and I aren't speaking, so
Yeah.
I can't.
All right. I guess
what else
that
you
was
got?
it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I didn't do... obviously, Two Towers took up 4 whole days
Oh,
of my
sure.
life. So.
Yeah.
And Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Actually, you know what
well
else I
spent.
watched? I watched the first episode of Fear the Walking Dead.
Oh.
I've been looking for anything to watch, man.
Yeah.
I got
seems
nothing.
like it.
Everything's coming back.
Okay.
So
Well,
sorry, that was boring.
No,
I
it's
just
okay,
bogarted
man.
the mic horribly.
No,
You go, man.
you're
I'm gonna
just
give you
fine.
some time.
Okay. Well,
This is me giving
Over
you
the-
all of this time.
over the
all
weekend,
time
September
belongs
16th to be
to
specific.
me.
Well, I'm about to say something sad, so you might want to.
Oh.
All right. September 16th, Pulitzer Prize winning playwright Edward Albee died. So I don't know if you're familiar with any of his plays. He won the Pulitzer Prize. He won the Tony Award for several plays. Most famous stuff, probably Zoo Story, Sandbox, and most of all, Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf. Have you read him before? Have you read any of his stuff?
No.
You haven't. Okay. I'd read bits of Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, and I've read.
Did you say Wolf?
I did say Wolf. Yeah. And
That's a children's series.
I read Zoo
Who's
Story,
Afraid of
and
Virginia Woolf?
I enjoyed them. But anyway, on the 16th, when I heard that, I grabbed my copy of Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, and I just sat down and read it cover to cover.
Good job.
Start to end. I
Yeah.
got to tell you, that is an intense show.
Yeah.
Do you know what it's about?
Isn't it about abuse?
Yeah. I mean, it's a husband and wife who work at a college. Her dad's the professor, and they have a junior faculty member over, and they just continue to have this horrible fight, and it just they tear everyone down. It just kind of ruins these 4 lives over the course of this play, and it's just, I don't know. It's well written. It's just intense. I think it would be really an exciting challenge to direct a stage version of this, and I think being in it would be
Horrible?
well, yeah, but also just it's kind of similar to how I felt about something like Glass Menagerie, where it's just so raw that you really have to.
I don't enjoy
You have
that.
to tap in and enjoy is probably a strong word, but it's an experience. So
No.
I really, it's worth reading. So if you haven't read Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, I'd sit down and read it.
I felt like
because
crap
it's,
after reading
intense.
Streetcar.
Yeah, you're right.
So-
You're right. That's another one. So anyway, that was a little something. So we
Thanks.
have quite a few of his
Thanks for
plays in
bringing
the
us down.
collection. Yeah. So if you're curious about Edward Albee and want to check out
How
his
old
plays,
was he?
we've got quite a few. 88. Wow. Born in 1928. So here's some stuff that's less deep than that. Step on a Crack by James Patterson and Michael Ledwidge.
Don't do that, yeah.
I got a bone to pick with
Yeah.
Mr. James Patterson.
Yeah,
okay.
he broke your mother's back.
Now, as you'll recall from last episode, I
That
got
was
Step on a
stupid.
Crack as a special. I bought a bookshot and I got this one.
Uh-huh.
So I'm reading it, and while I was reading it, I thought, this is going fast. This seems kind of and I'd never read this series before.
Uh-huh.
So I was like, they're not giving us a lot of depth here, but okay, it's fast paced. I got to the end and realized it's an abridgment of Step on a Crack put out as a bookshot. So now he's taking novels that he and somebody else have already written and abridging them and putting them out as bookshots.
Look,
I was like, my poor wife, I talked about this so much because I'd wanted to read this series, and I wasted my time reading
Yeah.
this stupid abridged bookshot version of Step on a Crack. So
I'm not one to be
Jeez.
society's falling apart because we use adult coloring books now. But you have to wonder about
it's not a bad example.
these bookshots.
Yeah.
Are they bad
Yeah.
for us?
Well, I guess it depends on how you look at it. Short stories and that sort of thing have been
Listeners,
around forever.
if any of you have read a bookshot and feel like you're better for it, or this is exactly what you wanted, let us know. I want to hear pro bookshot stories.
Well, I'll give you one.
All right.
I think that the bookshots are sort of no, I guess this is not a pro, but I think they're sort of like a modern equivalent of. It used to be, magazines like Playboy and other things were really famous for running short stories, and long
Spoken from experience. Wow.
a lot of the James Bond short stories that we have, even some of the movies are based off of, were originally in Playboy. I know.
Spoken from experience. Wow.
Jack Finney too, my favorite. A lot of them, but anyway,
A lot of Jack Finney in what?
in Playboy.
From experience.
Yeah, I was reading Playboy in 1964. That's
Wow.
right. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is this. It's always been a thing that these short, intense little stories were out there, and now bookshots are just sort of putting them out there individually, but they don't have the depth of some of those earlier short stories.
You're right.
So
The sci-fi world still does this. They still print out whole magazines that have the
Yeah,
short stories
yeah.
in them, and people still pick them
Yeah,
up
well,
and
you
read
get
them.
like Ellery Queen magazine.
I think
Alfred
the difference
Hitchcock
is
magazine. Those continue.
You take like somebody who does a short story, they don't have the means and the money
Yeah.
to print millions of copies of their short
No,
stories.
right.
But Patterson, he just like
Yeah, he
he
could
throws
print
away-
millions of copies
Yeah.
on millions of dollars.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
not even feel it.
Yeah,
That's
each
a
book
good
has
point.
about
It's a
$5
difference.
of
You look
actual
at those
money.
things that it's like
Yeah.
kind of new people breaking into that
Yeah.
and adding something. Where this is kind of like, well, I got this 160-page draft. Let's toss it in a bookshot.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Who do you think if this like stays popular?
Yeah.
If it keeps going and shows no signs of slowing, like what author do you think is next to jump on the bookshot?
Cussler.
Cussler, you think
I
so?
do, yeah. Because
Huh.
I think that his style of book, especially the current style of Cussler
Right.
books, I think would lend themselves
So like
really well
small episodic adventures,
Yeah.
not whole books.
Yeah.
Just like this was my time. I was in India for
to
2
it.
days.
Exactly.
Huh. All right.
Little like.
Do you think
mini
Crichton would have?
adventures.
I don't think Crichton would have
No,
jumped
no,
on
no.
it.
I don't. I think he's too deep.
What about
I
like
think like
Grisham? Do you think Grisham would ever go on that?
No, Grisham's moved to doing some like digital only short stories that like supplement. Like Rogue Lawyer has several.
Baldacci is doing the same thing, right?
Is he?
I thought
I don't
so.
know.
Maybe I'm wrong, or
don't
maybe I'm
know.
thinking of C.J. Box.
I think it just depends on the style. I wouldn't expect
Okay.
that from CJ Box, but maybe. Well, someone like
Ivanovich.
like Janet Ivanovich, exactly.
Yes.
Where like the whole point is this
Yeah.
is just fun and fluffy and hilarious. So like, why not just churn them out?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's like the difference between a great movie and like a sitcom. You know.
Yeah. But as I told you, it seems like our audience here at the library, our patrons, don't love sitcoms so much.
True.
Unless it's the Big
But
Bang Theory.
Bookshots have been popular. So
What are
I
they?
don't know.
Yeah. They just live to
hard to
confuse
say.
us.
Yeah. I don't have a real problem with bookshots, but I guess it just seems like I don't know, they could be better. I mean, if you're gonna really
You know, the thing
explore
is,
this short
you're
form,
only reading one book shot.
Yeah.
If they're anything like tequila shots,
Yeah.
you need to do like 3 of them in
Several.
one go. Yeah,
Yeah, to
3 or
get one
4
full.
in one go.
Well,
and you
luckily-
need to like suck on a lemon after each
Yeah.
after each book
well,
shot.
if it's 3 you need, you can just wait till they're collected in
There
hardcover
you go.
because that is
Yep.
happening.
Then you're calling up ex-girlfriends. I just
know,
read a book shot.
I gotta
I'm so
tell you, I
sorry.
started this discussion not feeling that bad about bookshots, and now I kind of do feel bad about
Sorry,
bookshots. You sort of pointed out that it's maybe not a great thing.
Hey man, there's some
go
great
from that.
sitcoms. You just told me to watch the Dick Van Dyke Show.
But I also feel like, reading is important. Even
Yeah.
if you're not going to sit down and read like the great classic novel.
Uh-oh,
I think
snob
reading
alert.
is No, I'm I'm saying reading of any
Yeah,
kind. I think
true.
it has value and it
Yeah.
gets you something, you know.
The articles in Playboy.
Anyway, let me continue on talking about things that don't have a lot of substance.
Okay.
I finished Star Trek Volume 6
The
from our graphic
comic?
novel collection.
Yeah.
Yeah. This one's set right after the movie Into Darkness, so it wasn't great.
All right.
I read Jughead, the new
Archie
the new
comic
YA
Jughead, yeah.
Jughead. I didn't love it.
Okay.
I loved Archie. Jughead was
Yeah.
a little too like it was wacky and very stylized, and it stayed really true to itself.
Uh-huh.
And I think if you liked that, it would work for
Yeah.
you. But I didn't like it so much.
Okay.
Spidey. We talked about this a little bit. I picked up the first volume of a new ongoing graphic series called Spidey,
Uh-huh.
which is just like set in like a modern setting, and I loved it. I thought it was super good.
Okay. Man, I feel like that's older.
No,
It's new.
It is new.
They had
It's
done that before
ongoing.
then. It was in
Oh,
the
yeah.
digest forms.
Yeah.
Also, they call that Ultimate Spider-Man, Nick.
yeah.
You're about 10 years. No, longer than 10 years. Man, I'm old.
Here's a couple that you might be interested in. I read Huck by Mark
Yeah, I
Waid.
saw you put this on your Goodreads, but
Yeah.
is this Marvel?
I don't think so.
Because you had said, like, it's a cross between Hulk and Wolverine. And I was like, what is he talking about?
Well, that's just like I said, Hulk, Wolverine, and Forrest Gump.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
That's just what the character is. Like he's this tracker who's super strong who acts like Forrest Gump. So Hulk, Wolverine, Forrest Gump.
Okay.
I mean, that's exactly what it felt
Yeah.
like to me.
All right.
But you wanted to read that, right?
I forgot it exists. That's
Oh.
Mark Millar, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I knew at one point I had heard about it, completely forgot about it.
Okay.
So,
Well-
is that in our collection?
Yeah,
You got that?
you got it.
I got it.
Yeah,
From Publishers Weekly.
yeah,
Crazy. Oh, yeah. I remember circling that
yeah.
now.
You did.
Crazy. All right, let's check
So
it out.
We have that in our collection. Finally, I read a new graphic come out that's called I don't know what I said. A new graphic that recently has come out called Indie.
By?
Indeh by Ethan Hawke.
This is the second
It's
Ethan
accidental.
Hawke book you've
It's
read.
accidental. That's actually not.
I
on
think you're
purpose at
following his
all.
literary career now.
Maybe, but this was good. It was about the Apache Wars. So I mean, it
Is
actually.
Ethan Hawke, is he part Native American?
No, he's in the.
Where does he get off?
I know the afterword addresses that. Actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But this is about the Apache Wars. It's a nice hardcover graphic novel, and I don't know. It really I thought it was good.
Okay.
It sucked me in, and it made me. I don't know a lot about that. I've always been kind of a history buff, but the Apache Wars is not a thing that I know about. Geronimo and all that.
Yeah, I don't think I know too much about them.
So.
And by that I mean
it was
anything.
good. It was good, but
Okay.
I think really more than that, it made me really interested in that area of history. So
Save
I'm
this
digging
for
that.
later?
So, I know, yeah. I guess if it's in historical fiction, I'll stop it there. Currently reading Girl on the Train, and I gotta say, I'm kind of loving it.
Nice.
It's fast.
Yeah.
It's quick. It's. I get the comparison to Gone Girl, like the
Yeah.
shifting perspectives and things.
Yeah.
I mean, I see that there, but I'm enjoying that. Reading that for the book club, which is coming up the 7th, I believe. So
I've
got
a
little ways on that.
No, I thought I was going to make a joke, but then I realized it kind of sounded filthy.
Oh.
So I'll save it for later.
Well, okay.
I'll text it to you.
Well, while I'm mentioning book clubs, let me just tell you, we're currently reading Girl on the Train.
Sure are.
That's going to be done October 7th. And then
Yep.
when we finish that, we're going to grab our Halloween book, which I know Eric's excited about. Dean Koontz Frankenstein,
I've never read it before.
Volume 1. Other book club, we're just wrapping Love May Fail by Matthew Quick, which
Yeah.
I also finished and
You
hated.
didn't- yeah, you hated it.
We'll dig into that. Next, because Alexander McCall Smith, as you might recall, is coming here on October 20th, our next book for the Contemporary Classics is going to be
Emma.
by Alexander McCall Smith.
Now, is this the Gwyneth Paltrow film?
Actually,
It is?
yeah, it's a
Retelling.
it's a retelling of Emma, and it's part of this like Jane Austen thing where where different authors have taken 4 of her like biggest
Yeah.
books and have redone them. So this is Alexander McCall Smith's entry in that, and it's a redo of Emma. So I'm interested to read that. There's been some interest in that book. We have a copy of it, so I thought it'd be a good one for the book club.
Cool.
So if you're looking forward to the McCall Smith visit and you want to read one more thing, join us.
Who isn't?
If you've never read McCall Smith and you want to read something before he comes, join us.
Who doesn't?
It's fun. Our book clubs are very fun. They're laid back. They're not super structured. We just sort of sit down and we're just like, oh, what'd you think? And the conversation always takes us in weird, unexpected places. But it's fun. It's laid back. So if you've never been to a book club and you want to come, this is the one to come to because we're all relaxed.
Who wouldn't?
Chilled. So anyway, that's it for me. Girl on the Train. I got some other stuff that I'm
right.
waiting to read, but that's what
Hey,
I got.
I sent you a text.
Really?
Yeah, your phone's right there.
Hold on, let me check.
Tell me if it's if
Let
that's
me-
a joke I can
let
make
me-
on air.
No, I don't think so.
Darn it!
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I get
But
it.
it's pretty funny,
It
though.
is funny. Yeah. but
Okay.
I think that it's a
Listeners, you missed out.
It's a
You'll have
little-
to. We'll
a
tell
little
that joke
off-putting.
on our other podcast, All the Books After Dark.
little, oh wow. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. All right.
Nice.
So we're gonna get into historical fiction, but first we got to tell
No,
you
we're
what's
not.
coming up new on
yeah,
the,
we're getting on book news. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't want.
what's coming up new and book news. So we're moving on to our book news segment.
Okay.
So Eric,
Yeah.
would you
Oh,
like me to go
man.
first?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I also had a great sitcom idea for you, but I can't remember what it was
You
called.
can workshop it while I read
No,
about
it was so good, and I wanted to bring it up during book news.
Bernard Cornwell. All right, so Bernard
What?
Cornwell
Did you-
fans, November 29th, we got a new one in his Flame Bearer. Oh, sorry, Flame Bearer is the title. This is number 10 in his series of Saxon stories.
What?
Saxon stories. Flame Bearer by Bernard Cornwell. Britain is at an uneasy peace. After their bloody defeat of Danish-led East Anglia, the West Saxons stand victorious, while the Merkins have taken back their land on the border of Northumbria, the last
remember.
kingdom of Britain still ruled by the pagan Northmen. A precious truce exists between England's Mercia and Northumbria, now ruled by Uthred of Bedenberg's son-in-law, Sigtryggr. I don't think you're supposed to have that many consonants together. I've never read
a
Bernard
different
Cornwell,
time.
so I can't tell you if this is exciting or
Yeah.
not, but I can tell you that he's popular. And
Okay.
if you're already a fan, jump in here with stories number 10. We have a lot of Cornwell in the connection.
Hey.
Hey.
I'm ready.
Oh, my gosh.
I'm ready
yes,
whenever you
please.
are.
No.
All right,
Inspiration
it wasn't a
strikes.
sitcom.
Okay.
It was a young adult book. I'm
Okay.
just gonna workshop it real quick with
You're
you.
an expert,
Ready?
so yeah, let's do it.
Okay. It's about a girl.
Yeah.
Her name is Autumn.
Okay.
She's starting school
Right.
at a new school. It's her senior year.
Checks out.
Or
Classic.
what? It doesn't matter what year. Maybe
Oh, doesn't-
junior year.
Doesn't matter. Junior. Okay.
Right.
Well, then you can have 2 books set in high school.
Yeah. All right. Junior year.
Yeah.
New school.
Yeah.
She's moving in with her. She's moving in with her dad.
Okay.
Her dad has a new girlfriend.
Uh-oh.
All things are new.
Live-in girlfriend?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
She has to make friends.
Okay.
And everything.
All right.
Okay. We call it First Days of Autumn because she's discovering herself as well.
But it's just like a coming of age story.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have like a hook really.
Well, Autumn's fun. She's a cool character.
Okay. So
All I had was the title.
so it's just about a girl moving into a new town with her dad.
Yeah.
And his trashy girlfriend.
she might not be trashy.
Well, we're workshopping.
What the heck?
We're workshopping.
No way.
Oh, so she's like nice.
Yeah.
Mom dead, mom alive.
Mom's alive.
Mom's alive.
Yeah.
Okay. And
Yeah.
she's just
Maybe mom has met somebody, but she's going to be moving around a lot.
Wow.
And the daughter doesn't want to do that.
Man,
but she also doesn't want to move in with the dad.
these parents need to prioritize their kid.
Well, it's today, they're both like, "Whoa, I got to work on me."
Wow. This is like a whole new life for her. Is this like
Yeah.
First Days of
Yeah.
Autumn?
Really, I just wanted to say the First Days of Autumn.
Okay.
That was the title.
All right.
I was looking at my calendar and
Well-
saw that the first day of autumn was coming on, and then I was like, wait a
I
second.
think in coming to me, you knew that I would give you an honest response to
Yeah.
that.
Tell me the cover doesn't look great.
The
though.
title is magical.
Yes.
The cover, I think, could really sell it.
Yep.
The plot is a little thin.
Oh, we'll figure
It's like
something
saying,
out.
I got this new story. It's about a boy who meets a girl.
All right.
It
well,
needs more.
But
It needs
then the
more.
boy, he has to be
No,
like,
there's no boy. There's no boy. We're talking about Autumn.
right?
So she's gonna meet a boy now.
Yeah.
I guess I just don't think. I don't think that you're ready. I'm glad that you felt comfortable enough to share it, but I think you have some work to do on your own, and then you can bring back. And
Okay.
we can bookshot it together. It'll be fine. All right.
She
So
meets a boy. He's blind.
okay.
Huh?
Yeah.
Boy works on a farm. So he shows her
Okay.
how nice it is also to work on a farm.
Right, and it's probably
And
harvest
during
time.
Harvest time
Yeah.
because it's autumn.
Yeah, that's good.
There we go.
Yeah.
But he's blind, but he still works on the
like
farm.
it.
He
I
can
like
do
it.
anything else that anyone else can. It doesn't matter. Being blind isn't a handicap for him. If anything, it's a benefit.
Yeah.
So,
Well, it's a little better now.
all right.
Yeah. Come on, we'll revisit this in the future.
Ugh.
All right. Sticking with Cornwell's, we'll talk about our old pal Patricia.
His
Cornwell.
name is Matt.
no,
Matty.
no,
Craig.
no.
Oh, boy. I'm bad with guy names. Alex.
I think it has to be. I think probably it would help if it was also a thing that was another thing, not a name. You know,
Oh,
you know what I
sure.
mean? Like Hunter, Autumn and Hunter.
Yes.
Okay.
I love it.
Good. Kay Scarpetta returns in Patricia Cornwell's new novel, Chaos. So this is book 24 in the Kay Scarpetta series. I haven't read these. My wife has read them. She enjoyed the one she read. So,
Case,
whatever.
Yeah,
Coming
I've
out
heard of these.
November 15th, which is just 3 days shy of my 10th wedding anniversary. Eric, please.
yeah.
Eric, please. Oh, no. No. Number one New York Times bestselling author Patricia Cornwell returns with a remarkable 24 thriller in her popular high-stakes series starring
boy.
medical examiner Dr. Kay Scarpetta. In the quiet of twilight on an early autumn day, 26-year-old Eliza Vandersteel is killed while riding her bicycle along the Charles River. It appears she was struck
Oh,
by
the
lightning,
river.
except the weather is perfectly clear and not a cloud in sight. Dr. Kay Scarpetta, a Cambridge Forensic Center's director and chief, decides at the scene that this is no accidental act of God. Accidental act of God?
Yeah. God's just up there like, oops,
confusing,
my
right?
bad. Sorry.
Heads up! Oh,
Oh,
okay.
You know what they say.
No.
Just an accidental act of God.
that was it.
Carrying too much at one time. Put
Okay.
something down.
Yeah.
Haste makes waste.
Yeah.
Forgot to put that in the Bible.
Hey, we talked about this guy earlier, so he's back. Clive Cussler,
Yeah.
back with book 24 in the
who?
long-running Dirk Pitt series.
Oh, Dirk Pitt.
Dirk Pitt.
Yeah.
This is
played by Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah, this is co-written with Dirk Cussler, son of Clive Cussler.
Yeah.
The cover of this one, closer. We've been disappointed with the last
Yeah,
couple.
because the other ones haven't been like adventures.
No,
It's been
this
like,
has
this
got-
is a racetrack
Yeah.
where no car is exploding.
We got stormy skies.
Uh-huh.
We got a twin-engine propeller plane struck by lightning, on fire,
Yeah.
crashing into the rushing waves.
I like it.
So I could use maybe like...
You need like one other crazy
I
thing.
think like
in
some
the background.
floating mines would help. Or, I mean, if there was a swastika on the plane. I think
Yeah.
that would go a long way.
Maybe
But,
like a hidden frozen temple.
Yeah.
Like that's been locked in an iceberg.
yeah. Or like a shark. Or like a
Yes.
school of sharks.
Yeah.
Is it a school? What do you call it?
I don't think-
A gaggle? A murder. That's gross.
Yeah.
All right. A desperate attempt in 1917 to preserve... Hey, it's historical fiction. What do you know? A desperate attempt in 1917 to preserve the wealth and power of the Romanov Empire. A Cold War bomber lost with a deadly cargo. Mysterious deaths on the Black Sea linked to modern-day smugglers of nuclear materials. Now, that has a period, but that was not a sentence. New from Clive Cussler, coming out the 15th of November.
Yeah.
We're moving over.
15th of November.
What?
If I put in song, our listeners will remember.
Oh,
like,
okay.
When is that Cussler book coming out? Oh, 15th of November.
Okay.
Yeah.
Large print. So these are large print books coming to us in December. So you've got some time, my large print minions. This doesn't seem like... Oh, yeah, there it is. Alabama Irish.
Sure.
By James Russell Lingerfelt. Brian was raised on, quote, the wrong side of the tracks, in inner city Alabama. Is that a thing? Inner city Alabama?
Maybe.
All right.
I haven't been to Alabama.
That's not really a city. But. Now at 19, with a troubled past and juvenile record, Brian struggles to earn a living and find
How
a
many cities
life
does Alabama
purpose.
have?
When he journeys to New York on a chance trip, Brian meets and falls in love with Shannon, a bright-eyed, aspiring actress from California. Brian returns to Alabama, stirred by Shannon's courage and passion for life. With a new zest and reason for living, Brian is... just new zest. Brian is determined to turn himself into a man worthy of her love. So, Brian's trying to better himself, and I say good for you, Brian. Good for you, Bri. Okay, ooh, here we go. Johnny D. Boggs. You're a Johnny D. Boggs. You're an old... You go back way with the Johnny D. Boggs book, right?
Yeah. I
Back
go Boggs for Boggs.
Yeah, junior high, head under the covers, the flashlight. Go to bed, Eric. Okay, then. You're under there. You gotta just pound out these last few chapters of the Johnny Boggs latest.
Yeah.
Anyway, this one is called Hard Way Out of... Want to guess? Hard Way Out of... No. Hard Way Out of...
Marriage. Oh, just kidding. No, I don't know.
Oh, boy. Take my wife, please.
Okay.
Okay, Johnny Boggs.
X gets the square.
Hard Way Out of... Hard Way Out of Hell. That was a great reference. Thank you for that. In 1913, on the 50th anniversary of the Lawrence, Kansas massacre. Hey, I've been to Lawrence, Kansas.
During the massacre?
No.
Oh.
No, about 10 years ago.
For
I
what?
went to a great sub shop. My friend Jesse lives in Lawrence.
Would you say it was a sub massacre?
No, it was delicious. But it was my only time in Kansas, and we were watching a movie, and we had to leave because there was a tornado warning.
That's hilarious.
So I was swept
Oh,
away.
that's not hilarious.
I was swept away to Oz.
Yeah. And?
It was fine.
Yeah. How's the economy work there?
It's weird. It's
Okay.
it's plant and brick based. It's very confusing.
It's strange.
Shoe heavy. Bartering
economy.
system, yeah.
Right.
In 1913, on the 50th anniversary of the Lawrence, Kansas massacre, former bushwhacker Cole Younger stands before a preacher at a tent revival. I remain, and I will always be a wicked man, Younger states, taking a step towards salvation. For a man like Cole Younger, there is much to confess. Well, good for him, trying to get his life together, I think.
Yeah.
I champion that. So what do you got coming out? These are long down the road, so I need to know what's coming out right now.
Okay,
I need
but
to
first,
run to my local store.
What if Autumn wants to become a veterinarian?
Okay.
And that's her thing. And so maybe that's what also attracts her to the farm. Okay. Maybe she doesn't meet Hunter in school necessarily. Like she sees him in school, but she does like an internship at the farm because they have animals, like a 4Cs program.
All right, let me offer a suggestion. Okay. She lives with the mom. Okay?
She lives with the mom?
She lives with the mom, but she comes to stay with her dad and his girlfriend every autumn. Okay. While she's there, she meets blind farmer named Hunter.
Sure. Hunter's a farmer with his parents and everything else.
His mother is a veterinarian.
Okay.
And she takes an interest in autumn, and that's where it all comes. So every year she comes back.
Yeah.
First day of autumn, she's back.
Yeah.
Learning about.
What if this was the first year Hunter was in this school? Like he's
new
also
too.
new too.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Should the school also be called Autumn? Like Autumn Springs
No.
Elementary? Okay.
No.
All right. I don't know.
So she's going to Autumn Springs in the autumn.
Yeah. And her name is
her
Autumn.
name is Autumn.
Yeah, it's like a triple threat.
That's too much.
That's what in the sports world you'd call a hat trick. A three.
Oh, okay.
In the bowling world you call it a turkey.
Really?
And actually I would probably review that book as a turkey. So.
Okay.
We'll keep
How would you thin a turkey herd?
Well, I'd have to ask my good friend Jimmy McCullough there.
All right. So you want to know what's coming out September 20th.
Do I?
2016. This is book news.
Okay.
All right. We got a lot.
Oh.
Publishers are back.
I'm excited.
They're back on their game.
Okay.
Let's get the nonfiction out of the way.
Okay.
Hold on,
Well,
my
I don't think I like your tone at all.
my browser has frozen.
That's exciting.
So, all right, we'll just wait. Well, we won't wait. I can tell. Oh, here it is. Atlas Obscura, an explorer's guide to the world's hidden wonders.
Well,
If there's a guide,
yeah.
you have to wonder, are these
How
really?
hidden they
yeah,
are?
yeah.
Well, maybe he just barely got out to publish it.
Okay, yeah. Here's something. Normally we don't talk about like art books too much.
Okay.
But this is one I can't believe it's only coming out now.
I can't believe it's not butter.
The Art of the Iron Giant, the movie.
Weird.
You would have thought this book came out 30 years ago.
I would have thought it didn't come out at all.
Really?
Yeah,
Have you never seen the Iron Giant?
I haven't.
Holy crap!
Sorry.
You have to see the Iron Giant, man.
I
It's
will.
great.
Still.
You love it.
An art book about the Iron Giant, like how many years later? That's weird.
Yeah, it is weird. But I mean, 1999. That's when the movie
I
came
have
out.
one. I have one here. I wanted to mention too, coming out soon. The Art of Rockadoodle. It's the classic Don
That's ridiculous.
Bluth take on the
Yeah.
Chanticleer story. It's an art book
Okay.
about that. So
You need to watch the Iron Giant.
okay,
It's disgusting that you haven't seen it.
okay.
All right, I think this is the last nonfiction I have. Based on a true story, a memoir by Norm Macdonald.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
The reviews have not been kind. Can
Ooh.
I tell you?
Yeah.
They've been very bad.
Really? Wild,
Yeah.
dangerous, and flat out unbelievable. Here's the incredible memoir of the actor, gambler.
Gambler?
Yeah, I guess. SNL veteran and one of the best stand-up comedians of all time.
No.
Really? You've read reviews for this Norm Macdonald thing?
Yeah. It's been in a couple of the trades. Not good.
His star burnt too bright, too fast.
Yeah.
That was his problem.
Among other problems, yeah. He was great on SNL. I'll give him that. I loved his Weekend Update.
Well, that's rough. So,
Yeah.
here's another one. Hero of the Empire, the Boer War, a daring escape in the making of Winston Churchill. Now, this is about the writers group that came together and created the lore of Winston Churchill, the character from Winnie the Pooh.
Like, no, you're wrong.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Real guy.
I don't know anything about Winston Churchill.
He's a real guy.
Well, at 24, he was utterly convinced it was his destiny to become Prime Minister of England one day.
Well,
Yeah. Talk about,
like Babe Ruth calling his shot.
yeah, or putting a curse on the Red Sox.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, was that...
Take that, Babe
Was,
Ruth.
okay. Here's some adult fiction.
Ooh.
So,
My favorite kind.
yeah. Not found in your favorite magazine, I guess, in the 60s.
Haven't said.
So, The Kept Woman, a novel by Karen Slaughter.
Ugh.
You don't like Karen Slaughter.
I've only read one Karen Slaughter book, but I hated it.
Husband and
so
wives,
much.
mothers and daughters,
Flames
the past and the future.
on the side of my face.
Secrets bind them, and secrets can destroy them.
Secrets are...
One ring can rule them.
Oh, I get it.
And in the
I get it.
darkness,
Yeah.
bind them.
In
Anyway.
the darkness.
Yeah, darkness.
Okay.
So you don't like Karen Slaughter, but she's
Well, I
still
didn't like-
she's a big name.
She is a big name. I didn't like, I think, All the Pretty Girls, it was called. I didn't like that at all.
Okay,
Pretty Girls, maybe.
yeah. The Undoing of Saint Sylvanus
Oh.
by Beth Moore.
Dr. Sylvanus?
Sure.
From-
Count Sylvanus.
Oh, that's better.
Yeah. It's an exciting fiction.
Beth Moore?
Yeah. Only God knew why Gillian Slater agreed to return to New Orleans on the news that her father had finally drunk himself to death.
Daughter of A.C. Slater from Saved by the Bell?
Maybe.
Okay.
Would that make sense?
I'd be more likely to read it. Let's just say
Okay.
that.
Have you ever read Beth Moore?
No,
Okay.
I didn't know she wrote fiction.
Oh. What did she write?
I thought she wrote like inspirational.
Oh, you're right. I
right?
gotcha.
Is that who I'm thinking of?
I thought that was Beth Moore.
Yeah.
You double check that fact while I tell
will.
you that we got a book called Home by Harlan Coben coming out.
Oh, probably not. No, this is a different Beth Moore.
Oh, good for her.
Yeah, there's the woman who writes the. Well, is it?
Yeah.
I'm so confused.
Yeah.
No.
No,
This
what?
is what I'm thinking of. Yes.
What?
Beth Moore has written many best-selling books and is a dynamic teacher and
Yeah.
prolific Bible study author. Yeah, so
Yeah,
it is
she's
her.
the one who's like the power
Okay.
of you.
Right. Okay.
Be the best thinker of yourself that
Yeah.
you can think today.
Yes. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
now we solve that mystery.
Dreams are the wishes your heart makes. All right.
When you're fast asleep.
Harlan Coben, what did you say about this? I said it's
I was asking if it was a Mickey Bolitar. Myron Bolitar.
no. Oh, Myron Bolitar. Yeah. Myron Bolitar and his friend Wynn believe they have located one of the boys, now a teenager.
Yeah.
Where has he been for 10 years?
I've liked some Harlan Coben, but the only Bolitar book I read, I really didn't like. So.
Did you say? No, I can't remember the guy from Battlestar Galactica now. Now all I can think of is Bolitar.
Oh, Gaius Baltar.
Baltar, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, that's done.
No, it's not.
Okay.
It's not about him.
No Echo, a Henny Wilhelmsen novel.
Sure.
By Anne Holt.
Okay.
Anne Holt, she was over at your house for Thanksgiving, right?
No.
Oh, weird.
No. You always assume I have authors over. I mean, thank you. It's nice. I think that I would.
You ever read Anne Holt?
No.
We are underread.
Oh gosh. It's a bold statement.
You more so than me.
That's
Wait,
decidedly not true.
She's Norway's #1 best-selling crime writer.
Oh, look out then. Boy, people love. I guess that craze has kind of died down, right?
What?
The whole like Icelandic and Norwegian and Swedish thrillers coming over here.
No idea.
Well, that hit strong for. I mean, I think Girl on the Train. Not Girl. Sorry, Girl with the Dragon Tattoo.
Oh.
Stieg Larsson sort of like made that a thing, and then the other like Joe Nesbo and others have followed. And
So you're saying
Jesse Adler also.
people of certain nations should only write in their nations and not expand. Did you
No.
just come out as a racist?
No.
Okay.
First of all, I think that would just make me like xenophobic. First of all,
That's true. You're right.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I just think for a while it was like publishers were like, "Oh, there are 2 dots above any of the letters in this person's name. If so, then publish it."
Okay.
And I think that's.
Are you xenophobic for space aliens?
A little bit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're probably not going to be friendly.
I don't see why they would be.
Yeah.
No.
Do you think they would see us as the way we see like livestock?
Maybe.
Yeah.
We're not great to livestock though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
It'd be bad news.
All right. Well, we'd be in fairs and stuff. You know.
Hopefully there'd be a few aliens who are like, you know what? Those need to be free range humans.
Yeah.
And we'd be getting at
That'd be
least
good.
to like walk out in the field and be
Yeah, they
like,
just,
hey
like-
Nick, I'm coming over to you.
They just tag our ears or our ankles,
Yeah.
and then we just go and like live our lives
yeah.
normally.
We'd be dairy humans.
Yeah.
Pushing Up Daisies, an Agatha Raisin mystery.
Beaton, right? MC Beaton.
MC Beaton.
MC Beaton. We're doing an MC Beaton Agatha Raisin mystery. For
That's
the book
such
club.
a good DJ name.
Beaton. You're
Yeah.
right.
We've
Yeah.
got MC Beaton here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, I'd be bad at a DJ.
Really?
Job, yeah.
I like what you were doing there.
Hey, The Family Plot by it's Sherry Priest.
Okay.
She wrote Bone Shaker and some other stuff. And
She's a bone shaker, heartbreaker.
is this sci-fi? Because normally she writes like, nope, The Family Plot is a haunted house story for the ages, atmospheric, scary, and strange, with a modern gothic sensibility to keep it fresh and interesting. From Sherry Priest, a modern master of supernatural fictions. What? Really? I must not have read her other stuff.
I guess you haven't.
She has written, the Bone Shaker stuff is a whole, series.
Yeah.
You don't know.
Sure I do.
You don't know.
Why would I lie?
She also wrote I Am Princess X. I'm not going to tell you anything
Okay.
more. All right, what else do we got?
I don't know.
Anything?
Man. You tell me.
We got a comic book, The Walking Dead, Volume 26, Call to Arms by Robert Kirkman.
Yeah,
You don't
yeah.
read this.
No, but
I'm.
I like Bob Kirkman.
You do? Oh, because of
Invincible.
yeah,
Super
Science
Dinosaur.
Dog.
Science Dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I think I'm like 3 volumes behind The Walking Dead.
Better catch up, I guess.
Oh, did I? Oh, I did bring it up. We've got Kids of Appetite by David Arnold. David Arnold is a young adult writer. He wrote this book. It's called Mosquito Land.
Huh.
Does that look fun, right?
Well,
I just wanted to show it to you so like you'd have a point of reference when I
Oh,
said
okay.
David Arnold.
well, I like the cover. It's a It's a girl. The colors are all good. They're like
Yes.
orange and greens. She's sitting on top of a bus writing something in a journal.
Yeah.
I like it. Have you read this?
No, I have not.
Are you
but
going to read it?
We got it because it was on Goodreads, like top 10 young adult fictions of anyway. I was going because I knew I was going to say Kids of Appetite. This is by David Arnold, who wrote Mosquito Land, and you were going to have no idea. So there
I'm
we
liking
go.
this though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. I'm glad I could help you out.
I'm curious about it. Yeah.
What else do we? So, anyways, we've got Kids of Appetite. We've got A Shadow Bright and Burning. Now, this is book 1 of the new series Kingdom on Fire by Jessica Cluse.
Sure.
We've got Danielle Page's book Stealing Snow, which is a retelling of the Snow Queen, which is just part of this avalanche of retellings of all these fairy tales in the
Yeah,
young
man.
adult section.
Yeah.
And I don't even know.
That's a new vampire.
It's hard to know what to get
Yeah.
now. I get some stuff and they don't check out, and then I get like this book called Unhooked, and it's super popular.
Preach.
Yeah. Okay. We got 3 Dark Crowns by Kendra Blake. She's the author of Anna Dressed in Blood, which is the story about a ghost hunter who goes to remove a ghost, but he falls in love with a ghost,
Okay.
Anna, who was killed on her wedding night. Anyway, Frost-Like Night. This is the Snow-Like Ashes series by Sarah Rush.
Okay.
We got the first 2 books. We got the first 2 books a little late. I got the first one right as the second one was coming out, but they are very popular right now.
Okay.
I don't know if you've heard of these.
I don't think
They say Game of Thrones means Graceling, which just sounds like any fantasy book to me. It's like saying Lord of the Rings means Wheel of Time in, peanut butter means crunchy peanut butter in. I guess then you just get crunchy peanut butter with a slightly creamy foundation. So anyways.
That sounds all right.
Yes, the Snow Like Ashes. This is a popular series right now. I don't know anything about it, but the covers are always cool. So, all right. Now, could you please vamp as I go to the New York Times bestsellers list?
Yes. Well, actually, I wanted to take a minute to talk about the Man Booker Prize. So that's good time.
Oh, that's right.
The Man Booker Prize comes out every year.
It's a silly name.
Began in 1969. And let me give you a little history of the Man Booker Prize. First, it's awarded to the best original novel written in the English language and published in the UK. An interesting thing about the Man Booker Prize, we've talked in the past about how, because I've said Man Booker Prize 100 times.
You said Man Booker Prize 100 times, but also just the phrase Man Booker.
Yeah. It's about Richard Grieco's character from 21 Jump Street.
It sounds like a really cool cat telling another cop, maybe his partner, to book that lady, Man Booker.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Or what about somebody who's always arresting people? Be like, he's a real man booker.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? He's always booking men.
Yeah.
Anyway, here's the interesting thing about this prize.
Uh-huh.
Okay, we've talked in the past about how things like the the Pulitzer Prize, the Newberries, and that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Those are awarded. I mean, not that this isn't based on merit, but those I don't think are really part of the thought. Is not let's see if we can boost the sales of this.
Uh-huh.
But that is one of the goals of the Man Booker Prize. They first release a long list of titles, then they narrow it down to a short list of 6 titles, then ultimately
So this is like a Hidden
final
Gems
winner.
award show?
And sort of, I mean, it does pull from well-known authors as well, but looking over the list, it seems like it's a lot of debuts and stuff that really make it. But part of the goal is to raise the profile of this book so that it's more widely read, and the Man Booker Prize is one that is thought to have the most effect on things like sales.
Okay.
So anyway, it's been going since 1969. Let's see, has to be in the English language, published in the UK. Those are two things about it. So recently, it was just knocked down to the short list.
Okay. How many is that?
The short list goes down to 6
books.
Six
books
Okay.
to rule them
so
all.
let me tell you
Sorry.
what the current short list is.
Yes.
Okay. Paul Beatty's, a U.S. author. The book is The Sellout, published by One World.
Okay.
Deborah Levy's, she's a UK author. Hot Milk, published by Hamish Hamilton.
Okay. Hamish.
Graham McCrae Burnett, another UK author, for his book His Bloody Project, published by Contraband.
Ooh.
Atessa Moshfegh, United States author, published by Jonathan Cape. The book is Eileen. This is the one that's been on my radar the longest.
What?
Before Eileen, like the name Eileen.
Okay.
It's it seems like kind of a twisty sort of a thriller, which is atypical for this. David Cizali's All That Man Is. This is a Canadian author, published by Jonathan Cape, and Madeline Thane's Do Not Say We Have Nothing. She's a Canadian author. This is published by Granta Books. So they'll come down to 6, and they'll finally settle on the top. But the prize is monetary, for one.
Ooh.
You get a pretty big prize. The short list gets a prize, and then they're presented with a fancy version of the book as well. So the final won't be announced for a while, and we'll cover it when we do. But we wanted to just take a minute to tell you what the shortlist was. So if any of them pique your interest, you can pick one of these up and be ready for when it comes out. So once again, The Sellout by Paul Beatty, Hot Milk by Deborah Levy, His Bloody Project by Graham McCrae Burnett, Eileen by Otessa Moshfegh, All That Man Is by David Cizali, and Do Not Say We Have Nothing by Madeline Thane.
Do not say.
To find out more about the Man Booker Prize, you can look at their website, themanbookerprize.com, or follow them on Twitter at Man Booker Prize.
Okay.
All right, so let's talk New York Times bestseller.
All right. Number 1 on the young adult hardcover, I thought I just mentioned, is A Torch Against the Night by Saba Tahir. This is the second book. The first one was called An Ember in the Ashes.
Oh, yes. Okay. Yep. I know what you mean.
So that's the best-selling young adult book right now. But let's check out adult hardcover fiction
Let's get into it.
for this week.
Let's tear it up.
this week, which is our week.
What do we
All of
got?
Our week. Let's see. Number 10. New this week. Oh, debut at number 10, though. Downfall by J.A. Jance.
I'm surprised that it's on there
Ooh.
at all.
Dig at J.A. Jance.
No, it's not a dig. I mean, she has loyalists, obviously,
Yeah.
but it's not one that tends to make a big splash. But
All right.
I think it's good for a series this long running that's kind of a,
Yeah.
I don't know, it's kind of a fringe series.
17th novel.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
it's a debut on
Yeah.
the bestseller list. It's pretty good.
Number 9. Truly, Madly Guilty by Leanne Moriarty.
Hanging in there.
Number 8. New this week. A Gentleman in Moscow. That's all.
Oh, okay.
Why'd you seem distraught by it?
I don't know. I guess I expected more for some reason. I don't know why.
Number 7. New this week. Here I Am by Jonathan Safran Foer. The author of Extremely Loud, Incredibly Close, or is it the other way around?
No, that's it.
Extremely Close and Incredibly
No,
Loud.
Wrong.
Okay, that's my novel.
Oh.
Number 6, Rushing Waters by Danielle Steele, in which number 5, the woman in cabin 10, hears a body thrown overboard.
Oh, my.
By Ruth Ware.
Well,
And you know,
it's really her duty to report
Yeah.
that if she hears it.
you know that this travel writer is going to have a great reckoning by Louise Penny
Oh,
at number 4.
okay.
So,
Confusing, but yeah.
Well, to solve the crime, they'll have to get on The Underground Railroad by Colson Whitehead
Yeah.
at number 3. And they'll find an ally in Razor Girl by Carl Hessen.
Wow.
And together, they'll find an apprentice in death by J.D. Robb at number 1.
Boy, you could not close that.
No,
deal.
I couldn't.
That was.
I couldn't figure out who was going to
really
be the
sad.
apprentice of death.
Yeah.
I guess I
Yeah.
couldn't tell if it was the travel writer still,
Well-
or Razor Girl was now the apprentice in death.
Better to have tried and failed, right,
Yeah.
man?
I had a
you.
good run there.
I think you did. Yeah, you did.
What is
You
that?
did.
I went from book 6 to book 1.
Yeah, it was confusing, but I
What?
think
It was a story. I turned the New York Times bestseller into a bestseller
Yeah,
itself.
You're right. Hats off, my man. Hats off.
Thank you.
Okay. Any
Should
of
I go
those-
get a hat?
Do you care about those? I don't. I'm surprised that. I guess not that surprised, but that the J.D. Robb's hanging in there. I mean, those are so many of those are coming out.
Yeah.
That's like book 60 in that series.
Yeah.
And then
The Apprentice of Death?
Also,
Yeah,
she
book
writes
number
like
1.
50 other books a week.
Yeah.
So.
I guess you could
Pretty
say J.A. Jance is no J.D. Robb.
Yeah, you could say that.
Who's J.D. Robb again?
Nora Roberts?
Oh, well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, still. I mean, that's.
Yeah. Her and Daniel
That's such a
Steele
weird-
probably have like an unholy
I think
alliance.
I've told you about this before, but this is like it's kind of a sci-fi.
Yeah.
Like it's a police procedural romance set in the future.
Yeah. 60 books.
She's like a space cop.
60 books.
We might try one of these for the book club. I might sneak it into the Page Turners book club. See
All
what
right.
people think. So, anyway, well, it's time for historical fiction.
Yep. Hit the theme song.
I don't
Take
think
a
it's-
look at historical fiction.
History comes
Eric and
alive at
Hannah.
the David A. Howe Library.
Yeah. I can't remember the Wishbone theme, but that would be good.
That would be a good one. Yeah, that makes
Did
sense.
Wishbone have a theme, or is it just like music while
don't-
showing pictures of the dog and clothes?
I know what Wishbone is, but I've never seen it.
Really?
Yeah, I'm too
Wishbone.
old. Too old.
Here's what always confused me. Have I brought this up to you before?
No idea.
They would tell the stories, and Wishbone would always, the dog,
Yeah.
would always play like a main character.
Yeah.
But if there was a romance, they wouldn't put a dog in the romance line. So it'd be Wishbone having a romance
Romancing
with
like a human lady?
human lady. It was always very confusing.
Wishbone got game.
Yeah, it was just,
Okay.
maybe get a dog in there, put a
Yeah.
bow on it so that we get it.
Yeah, a lady
So,
dog.
yeah.
Sure.
Like a, I don't know, a collie.
Yeah. Well, all that to say, we're going to be talking about historical fiction. As I mentioned earlier, this is History Week in Allegheny County. The library will be hosting a series of exhibits from historical societies around the county, as well as
Yeah.
the fancy replicas, the Hamilton Burr dueling pistols that came from J.P. Morgan.
We'll
So-
have the tablet, which has the 10 dual commandments upon it.
No, you made that up.
Really?
Yeah, you made that up.
Oh.
So that's going to be in the exhibition room Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You can check that out. We have guest speakers in the auditorium. We have Craig Brack, who's been here many times, always popular.
Yeah.
Wednesday
I
night
loved
at
him on the
7.
Brack show.
Different Brack.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
What, was this the same Brack who was on Space Goes Coast to Coast?
No, that's same as the Brack show, but different than Craig Brack.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is confusing. So Craig Brack is going to be 7 o'clock in the auditorium Wednesday the 21st.
Ah.
Tuesday the 22nd.
Hey, Craig Brack. Brack a leg.
No.
No?
Jim Pomeroy is our guest. And Friday, the 23rd at 7 o'clock, we have Brendan Heaney, who's going to be doing a portrayal of John L. Sullivan. famous.
Did you say betrayal?
Not betrayal.
Yeah, okay. Like he's betraying
betrayal.
Sullivan. Sullivan, don't you
No
up?
way. No, Sullivan would clean his clock. You can't. He'd bare knuckle box the crap out of him.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it'd be kind of scary, actually.
Did you just try to betray me?
I shall have none of that. Hand me my mustache wax and my tight knickers. So Eric,
Did you say?
tight knickers. Yeah, I did. Yeah, and I don't have to apologize for it.
Oh, okay. You don't have to.
Eric,
you should.
You're simple.
Oh,
So let me read
you
to you.
son of a gun.
Let me read to you a definition of historical fiction so that you know what we're talking about, and maybe so our listeners will know.
All right. Just don't use any of them big words.
Okay, historical fiction is
What?
defined as movies and novels in which a story is made up but is set in the past and sometimes borrows true characteristics of the time period in which it is set. A novel that makes up a story about a Civil War battle that really happened is an example of historical fiction.
What? How is this different from alternate fiction?
Well, I'm glad that you asked, Eric, because this is set in an era and a time that really happened. But the individual players are often made up. Sometimes they're an amalgam of several real people.
But according to quantum mechanics,
No, you're trying
couldn't
too
there
hard.
be
No.
an infinite
Eric,
amount of history?
Your head's gonna blow up. I don't know. You can talk to Harry Turtledove about that.
Who?
I don't know.
Yeah. Do you count Harry Turtledove's books, like alternate history, in when you talk about historical fiction?
I don't know.
Because
That's a
alternate fiction is a subgenre of the sci-fi.
sci-fi. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
do you think then you're saying like it's a sci-fi historical fiction? I don't think it is.
I don't know. Okay. I have a couple on my list here.
Here's the
that I've
thing.
talked about. Yeah.
Braveheart,
Yeah.
historical fiction.
Yeah.
Braveheart in Atlantis.
Probably not.
Okay, so there you go.
But I mean, here's an example of one that I put on the list because of the way.
See,
it's
I
written.
put some here too, and I was hoping you would say, yeah, alternative history.
Okay, I mean, yeah, we can take that
We'll
because
see.
like I'm counting Jack Finney's time duology, time and again and from time to time. They were written contemporarily, so it's set in the 70s, but then he goes back to the 1800s, and then the 90% of the story takes place in that time. But the time frame that he's in is so thoroughly researched. I mean, Jack Finney researched these so much that he wrote a separate book of histories based on New York in the 1800s. So I guess to answer your question, I don't know.
Ugh.
It really
Yeah,
depends.
I'm sure there are some historical fiction fans who are very upset that we're even having this
I know.
conversation.
I guess strictly speaking, the answer would be no.
You know what, though? I see Outlander on
Yeah.
historical fiction lists
Yeah.
all the time. But isn't that fantasy?
I've never known.
Yeah.
I think so. But I think technically if you want to go for really like hard line, then it wouldn't count.
Yeah.
But I think like practically, it kind of does.
What about Practical Magic starring Nicole Kidman and Sandra Bullock?
Well, we can talk about that in our Halloween episode. Eric's so excited. He's so excited about that.
You know what? That's my Halloween movie pick, Practical
Really?
Magic.
Wow.
I haven't seen it forever. It's
Wow.
probably not good.
Probably
I
not.
know the song This Kiss, isn't it?
Okay.
This
My
kiss,
Halloween pick is going to be
this
like
kiss.
all 9 seasons of Charmed.
How's
How's that? Just the Shannon Doherty
Yeah.
years? I don't know.
Yeah, and the Sabrina Teenage Witch made-for-TV movie,
Oh,
which
yeah.
led to
the
the TV show.
the TV show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of people don't know that.
Hey, speaking of that, are you going to buy that Sabrina the Teenage Witch graphic?
Yeah, it looks
For
scary,
Halloween?
though.
It does look scary.
I don't think
know.
you're going to like it.
I picked it up in Barnes & Noble and was scary.
Yeah, I don't think you're going
That
to
was
dig it.
scary.
Somebody compared it to Sandman, of all things. All right, so where are we going with this?
Well, let's talk a little bit.
Sure.
Do you what is your Are you interested in historical fiction?
Here's the thing
Yes.
I realized
Okay.
while going over some of the stuff I've read. One, if I've read historical fiction, it looks a lot of times like it's horror. Like I've read it for Halloween.
Okay.
And two, if there's an era or something I want to read about historical wise, I'm going to read the nonfiction
I see.
action. So if I wanted to read something about samurai, I prefer like a really good, entertaining nonfiction book on samurai
Okay.
rather than historical fiction. Of course, I love Seven Samurai, so I don't know what
Yeah.
I'm talking about anymore.
I don't know what you're talking about.
But when it comes to books, yeah, I guess I prefer just the historical book as opposed to the historical fiction.
Interesting. Okay. Well, I didn't include westerns in this list
I
because
did.
that's you did.
Yes.
Okay, well that's all right.
But I chose a western that is, I think, historical fiction.
Okay.
So
Like I would maybe say Philip Myers' The Sun is more historical fiction than a western,
Okay.
but it's borderline. But I kind of I tried to keep away from westerns because
Okay.
it's kind of like a subgenre.
all right.
But
Well,
I
I'll
guess
just say
for
the-
me.
go
Oh,
ahead.
sorry. No.
Well, I had read Doc by
okay.
Mary Doria Russell,
Sure.
which is a western, but it's about
Doc Holliday.
and all those other people. Who were the other?
Doc Hollywood.
No, not Doc
Michael
Hollywood.
J. Fox.
Wyatt Earp.
Wyatt
And
Earp.
everything. It's about them and the history of that town
Yeah.
and everything. So
Well, that's a little bit more.
So I felt like it is Western, but I felt like it would fit more in the historical Western.
Judges? They're going to allow it. They agree.
Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Guest judge today. I got nothing.
Oh my god!
I couldn't remember what's his face from Maroon 5.
Oh my gosh, that was so scary.
What's the judge
I saw
from?
that look on your face, like I don't have this.
Who's the singer from?
Adam Levine.
Yes, Adam Levine is here.
He's our guest judge.
Sorry, Adam.
Okay. Wow, that was a poorly conceived and poorly executed bit. But you know what?
Yeah.
A lot of your stuff's real good.
Thanks, man.
So don't let it get you down.
he's over there being like, "I love it."
Okay.
That's my best Adam
He's
Levine.
high pitched. So
Yeah.
that's good. I would say, to turn my question around on myself, do I like historical fiction? I think I would have probably said no.
Yes,
that I
you
don't
do.
like that I don't go and like purposely seek out historical fiction.
Okay.
But then when I looked at stuff that I've read, a lot of them are also like on my favorites list. Like,
Yeah.
Like Tony Early's Jim Glass books.
Yeah, you're disgusting.
Jim the Boy and the Blue Star. I mean, I love those.
Yeah.
Those are among my favorite books.
Yeah.
Ken Follett's Century Trilogy, right up there. I mean, these are huge, sweeping, like multi-generational family sagas. Jack Finney, of course, with his Time series. So I don't know. Now I don't know. Maybe I do love historical fiction.
Maybe.
Do you have a favorite?
Oh no.
Okay.
I don't think so. I've read a few. Maybe if I go over some, I can see if let's see. I read The Terror. Now, that's historical fiction in so much as it takes place in the past.
Okay.
About ice mappers,
Oh yes.
but they're also attacked by the abominable snowman,
Right.
which actually turns out to be an ancient monster.
Borderline, yeah.
So there's magic and everything, but it's it's kind of historical. That's probably like really stretching it. I read Radiant Days by Elizabeth Hand, which is about a girl who's her first year of school in 1978, but it's also about a teenage poet in 1870.
A real poet, right?
Arthur Rimbaud?
Yeah.
Rimbaud?
Yeah.
So there's some historical fiction in that, but I guess it's more sci-fi than with the meeting. Not really.
Oh, do they meet?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, but still, I mean, the
Titus
gist of it is
by Keith Yoakum.
okay.
I got this for free on Goodreads.
Interesting.
I'm one of only 2 people to have, or one of only 10 people to have rated
Well, I
it.
do declare.
It's on your shelf behind you. I gave you a copy of it.
Thank
It is about World War One, or no, it's about the Civil War. But there's a serial killer
Ooh,
in
look
one of
out.
the camps, and this is before people, knew about serial killers.
Right.
Because it wasn't really until Jack the Ripper
Yeah.
that people were like, "This man is a serial killer."
Yeah. He popularized it.
So sure did. You made
work.
it made it fun.
You know
shouldn't
what?
Say that.
You know what I tried so hard, like
Yeah.
so hard
Uh-huh.
to read and like was Les Mis.
Do you count that? That's historical fiction, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh boy, no, thank
yeah,
you.
Victor Hugo. I mean, I've read 750 pages of that, and I still have that much more to go. And it's just,
Yeah.
I think that's, oh boy, I don't want to upset some people now, but I think that's an example of historical fiction that I don't think works so well.
Yeah.
Like in the way that I would think of it in a contemporary way. Like if you take something like Follett's trilogy, I mean, the world.
Yeah.
It's just happening as it is. It's not like, all right, we're going to pause the story and I'm going to tell you about what's happening.
Right.
It's just, it's part of the narrative. It's woven in.
Uh-huh.
So whereas something like Les Mis, and there's lots of books that do this, they can't do that. Like
Yeah.
they can't marry the two.
Yeah.
It has to be, all right, here's the history. I'm going to hit you with this for however many pages, and then the story will pick up.
Yeah.
So I don't enjoy that kind of historical fiction. But the kind that just uses it as a background is good because then, something set contemporarily, I don't know, I feel like you have an extra layer of things that you can work with when
Yeah.
you're talking about, stuff
When,
that's in the past.
When Hamilton came out, I remember thinking like, man, it would be so cool if there was like a musical like this, but about like the French Revolutionary War. And then my wife had to remind me about Les Mis. I was
Yeah.
like, oh,
Yeah.
well, then another one. Like, because I don't
Another
feel like if I listen to the soundtrack of Les Mis,
Yeah.
that I'm educated about the French Revolutionary War,
Yeah.
But I feel like with something like Hamilton, you're entertained and educated.
Yeah. What about 1776? About
The song?
no, The musical, 1776. You don't know it?
No.
William Daniels from Boy Meets World is in it.
Which one's William Daniels?
Mr. Feeney.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That was his big thing.
Is he singing?
Anyway, yeah.
Oh, wow.
I know what you
Oh,
mean.
I almost closed this.
Well, here's a couple that I've read recently.
Okay.
Well, obviously, Colson Whitehead's Underground Railroad.
Sure.
Which I didn't like.
You loved it.
But it did paint a good picture of, like, the South in that era, so I'll give him that.
I don't think you can paint a good picture of the South in that era.
It painted it somewhat accurate.
There we
I
go.
guess I would say.
Yeah.
Probably not entirely accurate,
Yeah.
but I think maybe what it lacked.
I don't think they had a
some-
subway system
in
back
some
then.
real specific accuracy. I think what he was able to do in Underground Railroad is make you feel what was happening.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, it might not have been everything exactly right,
Mm-hmm.
but it did. I mean, it was kind of grueling because it was just a horrific time.
Right.
So, I'll give him props for that in Underground Railroad. Another slavery-based story would be The Kitchen House by Kathleen Grissom, which we did for the book club. That was okay, and it was a really good book club book. I see why it's on all these lists because we discussed it endlessly. I think the issue with that, and I think there's a tendency to do this in this genre. The villains were just villainous for no reason, and the good people were good for no reason.
Oh.
There just wasn't enough like depth to it.
So can we talk about, I mean, we did talk about this in Disappointing Reads, but we can talk about The Pillars of the Earth
Yes, we can.
by Ken Follett, because that was the same thing. Bad people were just bad.
Yeah.
Good people were just good.
Yeah, it's really frustrating. So, I mean, The Kitchen House was a pretty good read.
Right.
It was split between two people, like a woman from kind of a prosperous setting, and then a slave, and the voices didn't feel different at all, so that was kind of a weakness. But it's been popular, and actually a sequel just came out, which I haven't read. Glory Over Everything is what that's called. Earlier this year, this was by Kathleen Grissom.
Okay. Should we talk about Ken Follett? Because there's one that you hate and one that you like.
Sure.
So Pillars of the Earth,
Yeah.
which is what Nick and I both read.
Yeah.
We both hated it.
Yeah.
I'm the only one who finished it.
Yes.
And it was horrible.
I have respect.
And it's
for you
crazy.
for
It has a
finishing that. I cannot believe you did it.
4.28 on Goodreads.
It's beloved.
Yeah. Has
It's-
a TV series, has a board game.
Yeah.
It's nuts. And there's a sequel. Never going to read it.
No.
So, and you read, but you did like Fall of Giants.
All three, yeah. The third one is not as good, but the Century Trilogy follows basically a family through three generations, through World War I, World War II, and then the Cold War. The one set in the 1960s in the Cold War didn't quite have the same...
Yeah.
I mean, the stakes just weren't as high.
Yeah.
You know, they were potentially as high, but...
You know what
never.
I want in something like that kind of series,
Tell
or
me.
like Pillars of the Earth?
What?
I like cause and effect kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So I think I talked about this last time we talked about Pillars of the Earth, but I like the idea like, all right, if we put a town here, or even just like if we hold a market here, then this will happen, and but we'll need to get this from the woods, and that will affect the forest. I like, I don't know, this like if you played a computer game like a simulation game or something, and you start seeing like, oh, I took all the forest there, but now I've created this road,
Yeah.
and now trade has increased.
Well,
but
you
now-
definitely get that in the Century Trilogy.
Do
You
you?
see things set up in World War One, and they sort of like, well, this will fix this thing, and then maybe it's okay for 20 or 30 years, and then we hit World War II, and some of those things that were in place, in Europe, made things so much worse. So you see that, and because it spans basically a century, given the title. You really see that start to finish, and you see it on so many different parts of the world and how everything comes together. So that, I think, is really, even the third one, which I didn't like so well, was just intricately woven. And these are long books. They're each very, very long.
Oh boy.
And
Yeah.
he was able to take, you start with a basic family, and then you see all the branches from that, and by the end, there's pages and pages and pages of characters, but they're just introduced in such a way that who they are. The first book when I started, I did occasionally go back and be like, okay, I remember now.
Right.
But once you get into it, I thought he did a really good job of layering in new characters, new settings to make it a really fluid and fast read. Honestly,
Okay.
something that long going quick is a pretty good compliment, but.
There we go. What was I gonna say? I was thinking what you talked about, how you can't mix the history with the actual story in those books. The Amazing Adventures of Cavalier and Clay is about two Jewish immigrants, kids who meet and become comic book artists.
Michael Chabon? Is that who wrote that?
Yes, Michael Chabon.
Okay.
And it's about them creating a comic book called The Escapists and all this stuff, and it's supposed to be similar to like the Superman creators, Joel
Siegel and Schuster.
Yeah, Siegel and Schuster. But there's, you read it, and there's chapters where it's like, in 1938, the comic book industry did this, 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 and this, and then it gets back to the story.
Okay.
So it's like, those little asides, I guess. So
Did that work?
yeah, I mean, I was actually, most of the time, I was more interested in the actual comic book history, which shows you why I would more likely read a history on comic books than this.
But that's kind of like, I feel like in a book, like, not to keep beating up Les Mis, but in that book, it doesn't quite, I mean, sometimes he's even like, all right, now we're going to talk about this for a while. Like, he'll say outright, we're going to take a break and talk about, Napoleon or whatever.
See, it is nice because I don't think most of the people who read The Amazing Adventures of Cavalier and Clay would normally pick up a book about the history of like early 1930s, 1940s comic books. So now they were educated in the process. It sounds
like that author took care to highlight those.
Yes.
Rather than being like, this is stuff you have to get through for the context to make sense.
Yeah.
That's a separate part of the book that can kind of stand on its own. So it sounds like when done well, like it worked for you there. So, that's good. I guess there's a couple different kinds of historical fiction, I think. There's some like the Century Trilogy, which really, the setting is a character, I mean, you need, it's part of it is that you understand the intricacies of like society at that time. And then there's another book that I read recently, Chance Developments by Alexander McCall Smith. Now that's historical fiction, but the use of history in that book is not, here's exactly what was going on in the world, and this is why these things matter, and we're seeing it through the lens of these characters. That book was more like, this is a different time. This is a simpler time. Things mean different things because of the time that we're in. So the setting made an important, it was an important aspect of the story, but just to kind of, set the scene, not to really like teach.
Right.
So I think there's two different approaches to that, and it just depends on what the author's setting out to do.
Okay.
Because the McCall Smith book wouldn't have worked if it was set modern time.
Right.
But because it just had that like vague historical setting, it made them more charming.
Okay. See, I don't think I've read anything like that.
Okay.
Let's see. I, Ripper. That was the, historical fiction book about Jack the Ripper and his slaughtering. So that was good, but that's the setting is very much the thing.
Yeah.
And that.
Yeah.
I think most of the Naked and the Dead. It's about World War. It's about the Second World War.
Oh yeah.
So
Nobody Could Sleep.
Nobody Could Sleep. That's the first one. It came out in 1988.
Okay.
So, oh boy, that guy's in a race.
I know.
What if he's being chased? What if he's doing the chasing?
Another example of one that that has a historical setting, but it isn't super crucial.
Okay.
Would be The Light Between Oceans, Sam L. Stedman, which is out in the movies right now.
I get it. Yeah.
I mean the events wouldn't have transpired as they did in a modern setting. So setting it in the past when like communications, for example, weren't as easy as they are now, was pretty crucial to that story. But the point of that story is not, let's talk history,
Do you think if there was a writer who was just doing like a coming of age story set in the 80s, that we now have to count that as historical fiction?
Well, that's a good question because, let me give you some of our readers here for a little bit.
Okay.
Our
listeners.
Yes, sorry. We posed this question to our listeners.
They're readers on their own time.
We got a few examples here. So, Facebook user Jennifer says, Forever Amber is amazing. Have you heard of this before?
No.
Okay.
This is not my area of expertise at all, historical fiction. And I think I had thought I did slightly better with this until you said, let's talk about it. And I was like, oh no, what have I read? Like when you're a kid, it feels like all you're reading is historical fiction, specifically about like the Holocaust or the Native Americans. But like as you get to an adult and you can't remember those titles, you're like, what have I read this historical fiction? But there are some people who all they read is historical fiction. Yeah. I would say here it's one of our more popular.
Oh yeah. Well, that's why we have the special stickers for historical fiction.
Yeah.
'Cause people want it.
Not every library or section, does that.
Yep.
Okay.
Let's see. We got Facebook user Kendra says, I don't know if these count. It's not a strong start.
Yeah.
But The Power of One and Cry, the Beloved Country are really great. I had to read them in high school, and they've stuck with me. Boy, whoever her teacher is who made her read those books,
Yeah.
a single tear right now. So excited to hear that. Look, I don't know if you've heard of this one, Eric, but Dawn suggests a recent World War II novel by Kristen Hanna called The Nightingale. Is that... You don't...
No.
Yeah, you don't, does not ring any bells. Okay. Well,
Oh,
Dawn,
wait, you know what? That's been on the New York Times bestsellers list for 118 weeks.
That's right. 118 years.
Yes, that's true.
Facebook user Dawn says she lost a few hours of sleep with it last spring.
Oh.
So I suppose that someday I should read the
Laughing,
Nightingale.
drinking coffee with it.
Just having a
Tell
good
me
time.
more about you, Nightingale.
Going out in a boat. Cynthia says Sally Gunnings. No relation. Sally Gunnings 3, starting with The Widow's War, compelling reading about women in colonial America.
Oh, see, now I'm hoping it
that's
was like a
sort of
war
interesting.
about, one side of widows versus another side of widows.
The widow. Yeah. I get it.
Your side killed our husbands! And
Yeah.
then they finish what their husbands started.
Let's take a look on Twitter here. Let me just scan through here and select a few. The Burf on Twitter says,
Oh, on Twitter.
I think this counts. Hilary Mantel's Cromwell trilogy. Can't wait for number 3. I
Cromwell.
don't care if it isn't accurately accurate.
What is the Cromwell trilogy?
I don't know. You can look that up while I keep reading.
Thomas Cromwell? Like Wolf Hall?
Hilary Mantel.
Yep.
the author.
Wolf Hall, Bring Up Bodies, and whatever the other one, Mirror in the Light. Wolf Hall, that's a BBC movie.
Oh,
We
okay.
we have that.
Nice.
Or PBS. I can never remember which is which.
Okay.
But that was a British made-for-TV thing. That's a pretty big one. Wolf Hall checks out a lot here.
yeah.
If PBS did it, it's probably historical fiction.
Probably, yeah.
So,
Here's one. Trip Existence says, at all the book show, The Book Thief was an instant favorite.
that's a popular one.
And you'll
That's
like-
young adult.
Yeah. You'll like this. Also, I wouldn't even care if you just talked about Hamilton for an hour.
See, the thing
Listen, Trip Existence, please don't encourage him.
but to be fair, I don't think you can count something as like Hamilton as historical fiction because it seems like the only fiction part is like all the rapping and singing and that stuff. It seems like it's trying to be as historically accurate as possible.
That's a tough call. Yeah, that's a tough call because there's a book out right now called The Hamilton Affair, I believe it's called.
Right.
And it's just about Hamilton's life, but it's a
Right.
fictionalized account.
Right.
So that we would count as historical fiction.
Right.
So
See, because there aren't any original characters, is what I'm saying.
yeah.
So I'm trying to think, like, what's a movie that is all, I don't know, can't think of any. Like
But-
Lincoln. You wouldn't count Steven Spielberg's movie Lincoln as historical fiction.
Yeah, I guess not.
I don't think you would.
No, well,
Because
I don't know, because a lot of those things, I mean, even Lincoln will take events that happened over the course of a long time
Right.
and make it seem like they happened in a couple of days, or they'll take several.
But the thing is, both Lincoln and the musical Hamilton were based off of nonfiction books.
Yeah,
And that's what. So I wonder, like, is there a genre for like historical fiction where it's
I
not
think it's
as
I
much
think
fiction?
it's just adaptations. You'd probably
Yeah,
say,
I guess. Historical adaptation.
I guess so. Yeah.
So yeah,
one more Twitter thing.
a tweet.
At Sarah Keelerby says, at all the book show, I loved the Dear America and My Name is America series as a kid.
Those are those
read
are
those?
children's series. Those are still popular.
Yeah.
They every now and then like I'll confuse one for like an American Girls book because they have like the similar style and font and everything. But those are really still. We have parents who come in like I need like a Dear America story. A lot of them about just kids in historical times coming over. I guess in a way you could count the I Survived series.
Oh,
A
sure.
lot of them are like, I survived the Chicago fire.
Yeah.
I survived Hiroshima.
Yeah, those would count. She goes on to say, adult favorites include Gone with the Wind and less classic, all of Eva Ibbetson's historical romances.
Okay.
I think I've only read one Eva Ibbetson, and it was not a historical.
I have never read Gone with the Wind.
I haven't read Gone with the Wind either.
I've seen the movie once.
Okay.
So I used to have a poster of Gone with the Wind.
I have not.
The movie
I haven't seen
poster.
it. I haven't seen it or read it.
The poster?
I've seen the poster.
Have you read it though?
The poster? Yeah, I've read
Yeah,
the
it's pretty
poster.
good.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's got all the stars, the director. Mm-hmm. So
I don't know. I mean,
we had a conversation about during lunch if Gone with the Wind counts.
Yeah, right. That's what made me think of it. Like,
I think it does.
You think it does count?
Well, did we ever find out when it was written?
No, go ahead and let
Gone
Well, I
with
think it was written in the 30s, wasn't
Wind. Let's find out.
Well,
It
suspense
was
is killing me.
written this says, this is a 1936.
Yeah, 36.
But it
okay.
takes place
But it's about
before the Civil War.
Yeah, Civil War. So yeah, that definitely
And
counts.
then after. So yes.
Yeah, but the question came up because we were some of the suggestions we got on Facebook and stuff were not historical novels. They were novels that, like, to us feel historical,
Yeah.
but were written contemporary.
Yeah.
You know, they're set within the time frame in which they're written.
All right, so I've got 3 actual historical fictions.
Okay.
And then I want to ask you if you count
that
some
you've
of them.
read.
Yes.
Okay.
But then I have some others. I'm like, would you count
Ooh,
this?
I'm excited.
All right. So I've read The Great Train Robbery by Michael Crichton.
Oh, sure.
So that's historical fiction about a train robbery.
great
It was
train
pretty.
robbery.
Yeah, it was great. It's actually really good. It's one of my favorites of his. But one of my least favorites of his is Eaters of the Dead, which was turned into the movie 13th Warrior. And now sometimes you see the book as the 13th Warrior, but now it's kind of cool to put it as Eaters of the Dead again. So it's a retelling of Beowulf. So I don't know if somebody was like, I bet you can't make Beowulf entertaining. He's like, I'll show you. And then he failed.
Then he lost
Yeah.
that bet.
So, that's...
But he's got a new historical fiction coming out, remember, next year.
That's
Dragon
true.
Teeth.
Dragon Teeth, about the dinosaur
Yep,
wars.
yep.
Anyway, and then I just read Salt to the Sea by Rudis Sepetus.
Oh, yeah.
About the Wilhelm Gustave. Gustave. So
So those count. And what are we saying doesn't count?
all right. So here, some of these I know won't count. They're probably
thanks
it's
for
because
wasting
they're
your time.
sci-fi. I want to know if you. Anyway. Would you now count 1984 as historical fiction
I don't think so.
because it takes place in 1984?
Yeah, but in like a quasi.
Yeah. Doesn't that make it historic? So alternate, we'll say now
Yeah,
it's
that's
alternate
alternate.
history at this point.
Yeah,
It used to be
right, yeah.
dystopia, but
Yeah.
not anymore.
I think it would. I mean, we wouldn't reclass
Timeline.
it. It would still be dystopia.
Would you count timeline as historical fiction? Because I did
Well,
learn
I
a little
mean-
bit about.
It counts in the same
French
way
history
that,
while reading
that
it.
Time and Again would count.
Okay.
You know,
Would you count?
or Connecticut Yankee and King Arthur's Court, for that matter.
Sure. Would you count that as historical fiction? Would you count 11/22, 63?
I don't know. I mean, I
Like-
think no. Like I said, I think the answer is no. But I think
Right.
if you're talking,
But here's the thing: in something like 11/22/63, the sci-fi is very. It's just the cause to get them back.
yeah,
there.
well, it's based on Jack Finney style.
Right.
Yeah.
So, so if you took that out, wouldn't most of the story then be historical fiction?
Yeah, yeah. I just don't think you can ignore
Yeah.
that.
All right,
that's
so
the
that means we
premise of
can't
the book.
talk Lest Darkness Falls, the book I read about the guy who goes to ancient Rome.
We can talk about it.
All right.
I think. I mean, if you're being strict with the rules, then
Uh-huh.
no. But if we're talking about books with a big historical element,
Okay.
then yeah,
Well, then we can't count World War Z.
right.
Because, though, I thought I'd bring it up because it's written like it's written so that they're they're interviews about people who survived the
Yeah.
war, but it's fiction.
Yeah, I get
anyway,
it.
It's crazy. I know. Like I said, this isn't my area of expertise. 2 books I want to read, though. Fall of the Giants, because you swear, despite Pillars of the Earth, Fall of the Giants is good.
Yeah, I don't know if I would recommend it to you,
How dare you?
but
When's
You know.
the first one set during 1911? Oh, that's not as
Well-
exciting.
I thought that too, but it was really good.
All right. And then I don't know if you also want to read this. Let's see if it's on your Goodreads to
Okay.
read. Doesn't look like it. Child 44.
Okay. What is it?
Child 44? There was a movie about this, too. It's by Tom Rob Smith. It was a pretty big one. Stalin's Soviet Union is an official paradise where citizens live free from crime and fear of only one thing, the all-powerful state. Defending the system is idealistic security officer Leo Demdry, a war hero who believes the iron fist of the law, but when a murderer starts to kill at will and Leo dares to investigate, the state's obedient servant finds himself demoted and exiled. Now, with only his wife at his side, Leo must fight to uncover shocking truths about a killer in a country where crime doesn't exist. I'm surprised you haven't heard of this.
Sorry.
I remember somebody recommended, was asking about historical fiction. I'm pretty sure you recommended this to them. You know I'm talking about Child 44. You're hearing all the words I say.
Yeah, I don't.
Huh.
It's not ringing any bells to me. I'm sorry.
Tom Hardy was in the movie.
Sorry, man.
I think the movie bombed.
I believe you.
Okay.
How about that?
Well, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
That's all I got for wanting to read and have read. You got any others that you want to mention that you have read
There's one
that you want to read
There's one that I would like to recommend to you.
to me?
Yes.
As a friend to a friend.
Yes.
As a co-host to a co-host.
Yes. Because it is a ghost story.
Ooh.
but it is set in 1928.
What?
And it's very, I mean, it's besides this little ghosty element, it's very much historical fiction. So it's a very quick read. It's perfect for the Halloween season, and it's historical fiction. So to you, I recommend The Winter Ghosts by
Scary.
Kate Moss, not the actress/model.
Yeah, I wouldn't call her an actress.
Yeah, well. So The Winter Ghost by Kate Moss. I read this
the model.
last Halloween.
Right.
And it was good. It was just simple and spooky. And
No, if I read any of your recommendations for this Halloween, it's a head full of ghost.
oh man, I couldn't do it.
All right.
I donated my copy to this library.
Did you really?
Yeah, so we have it. So
Oh shoot, there was something I was gonna say. Well, it's Lost of the Ages now.
Okay.
No, I was gonna say, when do you think books that were written contemporary but are now long gone become historical fiction?
no,
You don't think that?
no.
Okay.
I mean, that's how we'd maybe view them, but you
Right.
know, I think part of the hallmark of historical fiction is that the author has the ability to like look back with
Okay.
perspective. So if it's
So you're saying something like Pride and Prejudice just becomes a classic, but not historical fiction.
right, right, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Interesting.
As long as it's written contemporary. I mean,
Yeah.
if it was written set the year it was written,
Okay.
you know, then yeah, no, I don't think so.
All right.
All right. So
right.
remember, it's History Week, so join us for History Week. We got
Saying
lots
that,
of
it
events,
is
got a lot of
history.
stuff going
Fireball
on.
Run is showing up.
Fireball Run, that's right. Thanks for bringing
Yeah.
that up. Fireball Run is coming Sunday,
Dante
the
Hicks?
25th, to
He wouldn't
look at
appreciate
our,
me calling him that.
to
Maybe
look
he
at
would.
some of our historical collections, including our piece of the Lincoln Shawl and a famous Lincoln forgery that we have. So they're coming to look at
Yeah.
that. But a lot of fun stuff going on.
I could forge a Lincoln thing
Join
right
us for the
now.
book clubs.
Think we
We'd
can
love
get that
to
in
have
the
you.
museum?
Yeah, sure.
Like we just forged a letter like,
Yeah.
boy, it's hard being president during
Yeah.
the Civil War.
Yeah, I think so.
Janis Joplin, but I have to go now.
Perfect.
Mary Todd is making dinner and also a scene. I gotta go.
Wait. I like the bit about Mary Todd making a scene because I think that's very real.
Right.
The one question I have was, did you say Janis Joplin?
Sure did.
I think that makes it.
It's historical fiction.
No, it's anachronistic though. I don't think it.
No, he's writing. He knows she's gonna exist someday.
Oh, okay.
So it's like he's putting it in a time capsule.
Seems
later.
like he'd know he shouldn't go to the theater then, right?
He only has. It's very narrow future sight,
Oh.
so he can't see his own future.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that
Yeah.
makes sense, I guess.
So I guess he could get away if he was seeing somebody else's future, and in that future, somebody was like, "Oh, and remember when Lincoln was shot in the theater by John Wilkes Booth?" He'd be like, "What?"
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, good thing
Yeah.
they mentioned this at that
So
time.
it's a
Wait,
it's a workaround.
I'm in the theater right now.
It's a workaround at best. Yeah.
So-
Then he goes to unlock the door, and then
Dark.
yeah, stuff
Too
happens.
soon?
Stuff happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, next week we're talking banned books.
Are we?
Yeah.
I can never
We're
remember.
going to dig into it.
Yeah.
So next week we're talking banned books. So send us your thoughts.
These are books that have joined together to form musical bands.
yeah.
Gone on the road, gone on tour, fight a lot, maybe break up,
You want
reform.
You want to tell them where they can find us?
Yes.
Okay.
But that's not. I usually do that. Shoot.
Okay.
All right. You can find us on iTunes, Twitter,
SoundCloud.
SoundCloud, YouTube,
Twitter
Facebook.
is at All the Book Show.
Oh, why'd
Facebook
you make me
is,
do this?
I don't know.
You did
David
this
A.
to
House
watch me
Public
fall
Library.
apart.
Email us at wellsville@stls.org.
Like a soggy
Remember to
3D
rate us on
puzzle.
iTunes. Remember to share us with your friends. Tell people that we're cool and fun.
Yeah.
It's just-
tell them about all the
just
good
see
things
what
we
happens.
say.
Just
Don't
see
tell
what-
them
just say
about
that
that time I tried to come up with celebrity guests.
No, don't.
For celebrity judges,
That was
and I
really
couldn't
bad.
remember Adam
Don't tell
Levine.
them that part.
You know what? I think I was also thinking about the guy who played Kylo Ren.
That's Adam Driver.
Yes, I was gonna get confused.
Different.
I was trying.
Okay.
You know how sometimes I get confused.
I do, yeah. All right, that's it for this week. Send us your thoughts on banned books, and we'll see you next week. Bye.